Our adventure started at Colombo Airport, where we were met by Indi, our guide. We then drove to our first hotel, Blue Magpie Lodge, and soon found us in the high mountains in the wet zone. It didn't take long to film our first 2 endemic animals of the trip.
It was very special to film our first endemic mammal, the purple-faced langur, and with a baby.
Indi is highly qualified at finding and identifying all the animals we filmed on this trip. The colours on these dragonflies are amazing. We were very lucky to film this endemic blue magpie. Unfortunately, the weather was very dull. It was lovely to see this delicate little lizard. We were very pleased when we found this beautiful chestnut-backed owlet, and it seemed quite relaxed. This large wood spider will probably eat her mate after mating. It was nice to see this Malabar giant squirrel, first one I've ever seen. We were very lucky to find this serene Dibscops owl. It was only discovered in 2004 and they are not sure how many there are. The common green lizard is also found in parts of India, a very handsome beast. These pied paracel dragonflies are really stunning. We were very lucky finding this mating pair of green skimmers. Indi was patiently waiting for me as I struggled up the hill. This endemic male kangaroo lizard is very colourful compared to its female. This common bluebottle really is a stunning butterfly.
This deep. Maybe. Okay.
We are soon on our way after a spot of lunch.
There's two of them. There's two.
Yeah, male and female.
These Sri Lankan frogmouths were an amazing find. Pitcher plants are fascinating plants, and this one turned out to be endemic, which for us was very special. We really had an amazing first day. Off out early to see what exciting things the new day would bring.
Because they get selected according to the.
Indi was very excited finding this Christophorus jungle watcher. It is very rare and he had not seen one before. This Senandab forest damselfly is endemic to the wet zone of the forest of Tenalia. Indi took us to a friend's house to protect us from the rain, where we found some interesting things to film. This glory lily is very, very poisonous. The rain stopped and we were on our way. This oriental green wing was amazing to watch. I froze one frame and then slowed it down, so normally you would just see a green flash. Indi was taking us to a new area where hopefully we can find some different dragonflies. We did find this rather lonely but beautiful lily though. Unfortunately, we did not find any different dragonflies, but Indi managed to photograph a close-up of a species he needed to find. During our lunchtime, we found this rather beautiful male purple-rumped sunbird. This white-throated kingfisher sunbathing. We were lucky to find another blue magpie, this time in much better light. This immature water lizard looks stunning and quite relaxed. This crested serpent eagle waiting for a snake or lizard for lunch. An interesting moth. We were very lucky to find this pair of collared Scops owls. Amazing camouflage.
You've been a film director. That's it. I was doing it.
We are now off to Sinharaja Education Centre. It was quite a climb at 1,170 metres. It is a World Heritage Site covering over 11,000 hectares and is the last virgin rainforest in Sri Lanka and holding 95% of the endemic species in Sri Lanka. The reserve is home to 139 endemic plant species, 6 of which are considered rare. The reserve is also home to 19 of the 20 endemic bird species in Sri Lanka.
So she stays at
What
the
an
university
amazing
while she's
experience day 2 has been.
Somebody is feeding
We
them.
wonder what the next
But
day
they
will
stay
bring.
in the road.
We stopped off at rather a windy tea plantation. After watching these women picking tea, I will never complain about the price of a cuppa again. Indi and Peter found a butterfly, so I filmed it when Peter had finished. We were lucky enough to find another Marabaa giant squirrel. This one was a bit more lively.
These butterflies are just amazing. This endemic grey hornbill was a very good find and finished our day off very well.
We are heading for Adewalawa National Park in the dry zone, much drier and warmer. It has 119 square miles within its border and was established in 1972. We have a beautiful early morning, so let's start our new adventure. What a start! A crested hawk eagle. And then a black-naped hare. The light here is beautiful this morning. This oriental garden lizard having breakfast. These wild water buffalo enjoy the reservoir that is supplied by the waters of the Wallawee River. The Sri Lankan elephant, Elephas maximus, is one of the 3 recognised subspecies of the Asian elephant and native to Sri Lanka. They live for about 60 to 75 years. Most of the females don't have tusks. They are magnificent animals and wonderful to watch.
The Malabar pied hornbill is a very impressive bird with an incredible beak. The spraying of water and mud will help them keep cool and protect themselves from the sun and many insects that will cause them lots of irritation. Indi takes us to a river where hopefully we will find lots of interesting creatures to film. We started with an incredible shoal of fish. Eventually we filmed 4 different species of dragonfly. Quite amazing. Adam's gen dragonfly we managed to film egg laying. Peter managed to spot this leaf-shaped insect. Its camouflage was truly amazing. Moving away from the river to see what else we can discover. Spotting this common rose butterfly was lovely to watch. This blue-faced malcock was very shy, and this unfortunately was all I could get. These 2 mugger crocodiles were very large.
These woolly neck storks are beautiful storks when you see all the different colours in the sunlight. This water monitor lizard uses its tongue to smell and taste the air and is used for hunting. Another amazing day comes to an end with this green imperial pigeon in the sunset. Indi is taking us to a wetter area to see hopefully some birds and insects. We weren't disappointed when we were able to film this beautiful purple heron. We moved off to another wet area and on the way stopped off and had a lovely coconut drink. Here at the wetlands we should be able to find some dragonflies and butterflies and other interesting wildlife. This male scarlet basker is in a display mode. This oriental garden lizard was a pleasant surprise and very well camouflaged. Indi had a surprise. He was taking us to see some Indian flying foxes. An amazing sight. He said we will try and get back at dusk to try and film them. The Indian flying fox is one of the largest bats in the world and is capable of carrying several viruses to humans. Indi took us to a lake and some other places he thought we might see some good things to film. This mugger crocodile was a very good start. This eastern jungle crow wanted a drink and a wash. I had never seen an orange-breasted green pigeon before. Such beautiful colours. We arrived at dusk to try and film the Indian flying fox, just as they were setting off for their nightly feed. Quite an amazing sight. The end of another amazing day. We are going to a new area called Tisarama and staying at the Raintree Hotel, which is in a dry area. The Indian peafowl really are an amazing bird.
And the pelican is a...
The sloth bear is normally a nocturnal animal, only coming out at dusk until dawn, so we were lucky with this one. It was already 9 o'clock and still feeding.
Try and take a video for me. You want to go past it?
This ruddy mongoose is trying to get to a bee-eater's eggs. Fortunately for the bee-eater, he gave up and went on his way. We saw the Indian boar and then realised there were 3 Sri Lankan jackals there as well. The Sri Lankan jackal, also known as southern Indian jackal, is a subspecies of the golden jackal, native to southern India and Sri Lanka. They were lovely to watch and seemed very relaxed. Seeing this leopard was a lovely surprise. Unfortunately, it was a long way off. It probably won't move until dusk. The painted stork always seems extremely clean and smart. The crested serpent eagle seemed fairly relaxed when taking a drink. This water monitor taking a drink. They do have amazing forked tongues.
Yeah, one time I have seen this running and grab from the just a mouthful. It's only a mouthful. Blue man.
This white-browed fantail seems to have got a damaged eye. This Indian boar certainly knows how to keep cool. The Malabar hornbill breeds in India as well as here in Sri Lanka. When the female has laid her 2, sometimes 3 eggs in a hole in a tree, the male then fills the hole up with mud, leaving a slot where the male can feed the female. And as the young grow too big, the male opens up the hole to allow the female to come out and feed, after sealing up the hole again, allowing both male and female to feed their young. This was a wonderful place to have our picnic lunch. This crested hawk eagle always on the lookout for something to eat. To see a sloth bear once in daylight is lucky. To see one twice the same day in the early afternoon sun is very, very lucky. Indi thinks the attraction is berries. In June and July there are a lot more berries and fruit about. That encourages the bears out in daylight. They use their very large claws to break open termites' nests. They eat termites as part of their diet. This is quite a battle. The much larger mugger crocodile is trying to eat the much smaller one. This could take days to come to a conclusion. I suspect the large one will win. Another amazing day comes to an end. We are just about ready to set off on a new day of discovery, wondering what we will see. This was a large wasp nest. Unfortunately, no one at home. The cheetal, or spotted deer, is native to the Indian subcontinent and lives between 20 and 30 years. A very pretty animal. This yellow wattle lapwing is just about to nestle down on its clutch of 4 eggs. This crested serpent eagle landed fairly close and gave me the chance to take these close-up shots. We came across an area of wildflowers in nice light, with quite a few butterflies in it, so we took advantage and filmed quite a lot of them. The painted-lipped lizard, when threatened or agitated, the normally brown-coloured lips turn bright white, as this one has done here, probably due to us. These dwarf honeybees are probably taking water back to their nest, as are these greater banded hornets.
Please.
It looks as though this crested hawk eagle has just had a meal, judging by the size of its crop, and now it's time for a drink. Amazing camouflage. These talk macaque mums showing off their babies. I think she has hidden herself quite well there. Still lovely to watch though. The end of another fantastic day. Indi is taking us to a friend who says he knows where there are some bats and an owl. Sounds good.
There's a nest with a couple of young
They are the Indian flying fox, the same species that we filmed before, but these are closer and easier to film. Very nice. This is a jungle outlet that we found in the friend's large garden. A lovely little outlet. We had quite a long drive to Heaven's 7 Hotel at Nuera Elia. We would be climbing quite high through some beautiful scenery, so Indi suggested that we stop off and have another coconut drink. Peter really did enjoy it.
market.
We stopped off for lunch and enjoyed the scenery.
Oh, you can see right over.
We were really lucky being able to film this handsome black eagle. Beautiful sight. Indi thought there should be a brown wood owl in a forest that we are coming up to. Fingers crossed. After a lot of climbing about in very poor light, he found one. In fact, there were two. They were both very difficult to get to. Another exciting day comes to an end. We leave the Heaven 7 Hotel and find the weather looking like the weather in March at home. It really did look like a farm in England, complete with cows. These are the first cows we have seen since we arrived. It was very damp and windy. The station was very different and interesting though. We soon found the Horton National Park and wondered what we would find. We were lucky. We soon found this endemic male rhino horned lizard and a little bit further the female with amazing camouflage. As you can see, the light to film in was very bad, but we did see some lovely things. Judging by the behaviour of this sambar deer, we think that a leopard was not that far away. This pygmy lizard was so difficult to see, the camouflage was so good. The mountain Riedling is only confined to the central hills of the island, between 1800 and 2,500 metres, so we were very pleased to find these specimens. Unfortunately, the light was dreadful. Back to our hotel after another good day. Right outside our hotel, we found this endemic black-cheeked lizard. We could not believe our luck. Our luck continued. Just round the corner, we found this Lowton sunbird singing. Indi was going to show us some religious carvings. They are very well made and intricate, with spectacular colours. Well worth a look. These are long-haired mountain talk macaque, a subspecies of the talk macaque, and raiding someone's garden. Indi suggested that we had a look at a tea plantation and factory. I think it's fairly sure to say that this would have been British made. All the pickers handing in their freshly picked tea. This was a selection of the tea they made here. We did try a cup. It was very good. We said goodbye to the factory and had a look at some scenery.
What is that?
Lion Rock is a major landmark and stands over 200 metres high. We filmed this scene from the grounds of our last hotel of the trip at Helagala Lake Resort, along with these pieces as the late afternoon faded, a lovely end to another great day. Our waiter pointed out this rat snake in the grounds, so we rushed off to try and film it. It turns out it was not venomous. We estimated it was about 3.5 to 4 feet long, but can grow up to over 6 feet. This white rump charmer was telling all the females, "This is where I live and I am here." There were some beautiful water lilies here. Peter called me over to film this mating pair of orange-faced sprite. This female spine-legged redbolt was rather spectacular. These black crowned night herons were rather lovely. This woodpecker was collecting insects from spider webs. This common lime is a really beautiful, delicate butterfly. There are over 2 million different insects in the world today, and counting. Suffice to say, this one has a nasty bite. The camouflage on this grasshopper was just amazing. Indi has gone off to get our new guide. They are taking us hopefully to see a large herd of Asian elephants, so we thought we would film some of these flowers while we are waiting. We have to treat these elephants with respect. They are wild animals and have a mind of their own. This male is in charge of the pool, and all the other elephants will have to wait till he has finished. He looks as though he's really enjoying that. They're not very happy about something. They all calm down after a while and carry on with normal behaviour.
Good photo. You here?
It really is a magnificent herd with lots of babies. It really has been a good day, but tomorrow, sadly, is our last day. We were off to Pidurangla Rock Temple. There is a chance of seeing some bats in a cave about halfway up the rock. It looks as though there may be some interesting creatures on the way up. When we approached the temple, we had to remove our footwear before starting to climb the 500 plus steps. It did seem to go on a bit. Very disappointing. The bat cave was empty. No bats. Further up, we did see this common bronze snake. It seemed to live in the wall. We eventually got to the top and enjoyed the view, and very nice it was too. This beautiful Indian sunbeam butterfly was quite a surprise to see one right up here. This black Raj was a surprise as well. This is part of a Buddhist temple dating back from the 1st and 2nd century. It's best not to get too close to these hornets. So down the hill we go. It's a long way down. Well, that was quite an experience. These last few shots are the last we'll get on what has been a truly amazing experience and one to cherish.